We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Chesam and Aleph Meseches Eruvin. This is Eruvin Daf 38a. This Amud is sponsored in honor of Andy Koshner's 60th birthday. Happy birthday and thank you for your sponsorship. If you would like to sponsor an Amud or a Daf, you can see the description box below for details. The Gemara here is in the middle of a conversation between Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim, and the Chachamim say to Rabbi Meir as follows. In the case of a case where a person bought wine mibein hakusim, a person bought wine from the kusim, Rabbi Meir said that what the person is allowed to do is he's allowed to say whatever wine is left over at the end, after I drink it, that's going to be the truma, that's going to be the meiser, etc. Now the other Tanoim did not agree with Rabbi Meir, because the other Tanoim said that the problem is it has to be shira and ikar, and you have to identify the truma, what is the truma and what is not the truma from the beginning, and that's a gezeres hakasa from the word rashis. And now they respond, we understand that you don't hold of rashis, but at the very least, shouldn't you at least admit that maybe this barrel is going to break? It's going to come out that you're having tevel retroactively. Amar Lahan, and he responded to them, if that happens, we'll deal with it, meaning I'm not concerned with that eventuality, and therefore I allow the person to do this in order to separate the proper trumas and maestras. The Gemara now continues with the Mishnah. Rabbi Eliezer says, Yom Tov hasamach l'Shabbos. Let's say you have Yom Tov that is right next to Shabbos, bein milafaneho, bein milachareho. Whether Yom Tov falls out on Friday, whether Yom Tov falls out on Sunday, in either situation, when you have a Yom Tov right next to a Shabbos, according to Rabbi Eliezer, ma'ariv adam shnei eruvin. A person can make two eruvs. V'omer, and he can say, eruve barishon lemizrach. My eruv on the first day is going to be towards the east. Uv'sheni lemayrav, and on the second day I'm going to make an eruv tchum to the west. Barishon l'mayrav, or you could say the first day to the west, uvasheni lemizrach, second day to the east. Eruvi barishon, he could say the first day I'm going to make an eruv, uvasheni kivnei iri, but the second day I don't want an eruv at all. I just want to have the tchum of the people of my city. The tchum is where my actual residence is. Eruve bisheni uvarishon kivnei iri, or he could say again, my eruv I want it to work on the second day, and on the first day I want to be like the people of my city. The point over here is, and the discussion is going to go on throughout the daf. The point over here is that according to Rabbi Eliezer, the 2 days, the Yom Tov and the Shabbos, are considered to have two separate kedushos. Rashi over here says, the Kosover Rabbi Eliezer, Shabbos v'Yom Tov lav kechad yoma arichon. And it's not like one long day. You don't merge together the Yom Tov and the Shabbos and say it's all one day. Eloshtei kedushos, it's two separate kedushos. U'lechol chad yoma itzlei chada shvisa. Every day can have its own shvisa. U'v'chol chada mikni alei shvisa le'ezat tzad sheyirtza. Every day you can do the shvisa in whatever direction you want. U'bein hashmoshes dekama l'didehu dekani v'lo liyom beis. The bein hashmoshes works for that day. It does not necessarily go, meaning on the bein hashmoshes the first day, it works for the first day. It does not go on to the second day. So that's Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. The Yom Tov and the Shabbos are two kedushos. The Chachamim say, O ma'arev l'ruach achas, o einu ma'arev kolikar. Either make an eruv to one direction, or don't make an eruv at all. O ma'arev l'shnei yamim, either make an eruv for both days, o einu ma'arev kolikar, or don't make an eruv at all. The Gemara is going to ask, that sounds like the exact same thing. The point is that the 2 days are being treated like one day. The Gemara will discuss. Ketzad yasa. Now the Mishnah says, how does the person make his eruv? What should the person do? The Mishnah explains, Molicho barishon umachshich olav. A person, he should take it the first day, right before Shabbos or Yom Tov, wait for it to get dark. That's going to be his eruv for the first day. V'not lo volo, and then he should take the eruv basically in a way to protect it, make sure it doesn't get eaten or anything like that. And then b'sheni machshich olav ve'ochlo ubolo. Then the second day he should take it to where he wants to take it again. And leave it until it gets dark, and then he could eat it. If he does this, he's going to gain in where he can walk, meaning the eruv will be effective, and he'll also gain because he can eat the eruv. This way, he'll be able to have some extra food. And then the Mishnah says, "Nachol barishon eruvo l'rishon ve'ein eruvo l'sheni." So if, let's say, the eruv gets eaten after the first day, the eruv will work the first day. It will not work the second day. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says. They change over here the girsa Amar Lahem. Amar Lahem Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says to them, Modim atem li'shein shtei kedushas. Doesn't this show that you admit that it's actually two kedushas? Because what you're saying over here is that if it gets eaten the first day, it's going to work the first day and not the second day. So apparently you're admitting to this fact. We'll take a look at Rashi over here. Rashi over here says, Barishon, again, Molicho Hashliach, Barishon Erev Yontif Shelfnei HaShabbos. The Shliach takes it the first day, the Erev Yontif before Shabbos. Umachshech Olav Ad Sheyikna HaErev. You wait till the Erev takes effect. V'nolo Volo Shemayova. Take it. Maybe it'll get lost. V'shovein lo Erev V'sheni. K'dektani Nechol Eruv Barishon V'chozer Molicho B'sheni. That's what you're supposed to do. Mistaker B'halichaso. That means Kilomar Konelo Alicha Liyom Machar. In other words, if you do it in this fashion, you make sure the Erev is there at the outset of the second day, then you're going to be mistaker b'halichaso. You'll be able to use the Erev Tchum, and you'll be able to walk the second day where you want to walk. U'mistaker be'eruvo she'ochlo, and you'll be able to eat it. That's so you'll gain by having the Erev to eat it. Uv'yom tov achar Shabbos. Now Rashi here explains. What about when Yom Tov falls out on Sunday? Telo efshar b'hachi. You can't do that because if Yom Tov falls out on Sunday, you can't carry it on Shabbos all the way for the next day. So molicho barishon. So in that situation, what you should do is you should take it the first day, v'chozer v'holech sham b'sheni, and then go walk over there the second day, liros imkayim, to make sure it's still there, imkayim eruva, to make sure the erev is still there, umachshech olav v'imratza yochlenu acharechen. So you have to make sure it's there each day. And so then Rabbi Eliezer says to the Chachamim, Modim atem lishein beis kedushas. Aren't you admitting in this very description of how you have to set up the Erev that it's two separate Erevs? You're not just making the Erev on day one and it lasts for 2 days. Even the Chachamim seem to agree that you make the Erev the first day and then you have to either check on it or bring it again the second day to make the Erev. So even the Chachamim seem to agree it's two Kedushos. So ein Erev l'sheni. You're saying that the Erev doesn't work automatically for the second day. Di Kedusha achas, if it's really one Kedusha, havalek echad yom aricha, it should be one long day. V'yikna bein hashmasha shel rishon l'shneim. The bein hashmasha of the first day should work for the whole thing. V'kevan the shtei Kedushos ein yachal la'arev nami lebeis ruchos. So Rabbi Eliezer is saying, look, if you admit that you need to make the Erev separately day 1 and day 2, you should also admit that you can make it in separate directions. Rabbi Eliezer is basically asking that the Chachamim's position is not consistent. This whole Ketzad Yaseh, what should he do, is according to everybody. The Chachamim also agree that the person needs to make the Erev both the first and the second day. So if that's the case, why can't he make it in different directions? Gemara here says, L'ruach achas, what does it mean when the Chachamim say you do it in one direction? Ma'iniyu, what does that mean? L'shnei yom, it means one direction for both days. L'shnei yom and ma'iniyu, what does it mean when the Chachamim say you make it for both days? L'ruach achas, it means you make it for both days in the same direction. Hainu kamaisa, that's the exact same thing. The Gemara is asking, the Chachamim are repeating themselves. So the Gemara explains, Hachi ka'amri le Rabbanan le Rabbi Eliezer. The Rabbanan are saying to Rabbi Eliezer as follows. Don't you admit that you can't make an Erev for 1 day? Let's say you have 1 day of Shabbos. You can't make Chetziel at Safon v'Chetziel at Daram. You can't make half the day you're going to go north and half the day you're going to go south. That certainly everyone agrees you can't do by Tchumen. So Amar Lahen, so he says back to them, Aval, that's true, I do admit that. So now they say, Kashem she'ein me'arvin liyom echad chetziel adarim v'chetziel tzafon. Just like you admit that you're not allowed to make a half a day to the south, half a day to the north, kach ein me'arvin l'shnei yomim, yom echad l'mizrach v'yom echad l'mayrav. You should also admit that you can't do one to the east and one to the west. And what is Rebbe Elazar's response? For Rebbe Elazar, hasam kedusha achas, hacha beis kedushos. Rebbe Elazar says back, it's totally different. Over there, if it's 1 day of Shabbos, then it's going to be one kedusha. If it's going to be 2 days, if it's Shabbos followed by Yom Tov or vice versa, then it's going to be 2 separate kedushas. So that's really the discussion. In other words, when they say l'shnei hayamim and l'ruach achas, what they're really saying is, in 1 day you wouldn't be able to do this. So if you can't do it in 1 day, why should you be allowed to do it in this particular case? Rashi over here explains. Again, you're repeating yourself. So they say, when they say the phrase ruach achas, they mean, don't you admit that in 1 day you can do it in one ruach? Or else you can't do it at all. You can't split it. Lebeis yomim nami, you should say the same thing for 2 days. Either do it the same way you do it for 1 day or don't do it at all. He says it's true, but he says it's different because it's 2 kedushos. Now, what's his response to them? Amar lahen Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says to the Chachamim, don't you admit Shem Irev Baraglov B'Yom Rishon? Let's say a person makes an Erev with his feet. Making an Erev with your feet means you don't send a shliach with some food. You yourself go to the area where you want to make your makom shvisa. So don't you admit that if the person goes there by himself, his actual self, to the area where he wants to make the Erev on the first day, Ma'arev Baraglov B'Yom Sheni, you admit that you have to go there the second day. Everybody admits you can't just do an Erev Baraglov on the first day. Rashi over here says, Shem Irev Baraglov Shaloy this guy, he didn't have any bread, he couldn't send the shliach ul'ariv. He just sat 2,000 amos away from his normal residence until it became Shabbos or Yontif, and he was Konesh Shvisa. Halacha there, everyone agrees. Ma'ariv baragla b'sheni. Tzorich la'ariv baragla v'apasheni. He's got to do it again. Ve'eno yachol lotzes b'sheni chutz l'tchum al yedei kniya rishona. You can't do it. You can't do it the second day through the original thing. So Rabbi Eliezer is saying you admit that on the second day you need to make a new eruv. Or another example, now Rabbi Eliezer says, that's if it's Erev Baraglav, but Nechol Eruv, I'll give you another example. Nechol Eruv b'yom rishon, don't you admit that if the Erev gets eaten on the first day, Ein Yotzei Ola b'yom sheni, that you're not allowed to use that on the second day. It has to be, the food has to remain there for the second day, as we said. Amru lo, they say back to him, Avol, that's true, we do admit it. So he says to them, doesn't that indeed show that it's two kedushos? And the Rabbanan answer, and that's really the same question that was asked in the Mishnah by Rabbi Eliezer, and the Rabbanan answer, Rabbanan have a very simple answer. They are not certain about this matter. They're in doubt. They always go strict. They're not sure. Is it two kedushos? Is it one kedusha? Therefore, they have to be strict in both directions. They only allow you to make an eruv in one direction, because maybe it's all one kedusha. Maybe it should all be treated like one day. But on the other hand, they require you to make the eruv for both days independently, because maybe it's like two kedushas. So Amru lo Rabbi Eliezer, the conversation continues. They said to Rabbi Eliezer, don't you admit that you're not allowed to make an eruv from Yontiv to Shabbos? Now Rashi here explains what this kasha is. Let's say the following scenario. You didn't make an eruv on Erev Yontiv. He needs to go out on Shabbos. So let's say Yontiv falls out on Friday. You didn't do anything before Yontiv, and now you want to make an eruv on Yontiv. You have never made an eruv tchum here as of yet, and now you want to make an eruv on Yontiv for Shabbos. You admit that you're not allowed to do that. Alma kedusha achasi. Now, why would you not be allowed to do that? It must be it's one kedusha. Yeah, obviously in the middle of Shabbos you can't make an eruv tchum. So too over here, if it's a yontiv and Shabbos right next to each other, it's all considered one kedusha. And in the middle of the day, you're not allowed to just make an eruv. And Rabbi Eliezer admits that that's true. So that's what they're saying to him. Don't you admit that you can't do that? Amar lehen avol. He said, I do admit that. So hala I kedusha achasi. So they say, well, doesn't that prove that it's one kedusha? But Rabbi Eliezer says that has nothing to do with it. Rabbi Eliezer hasam mishum hachana. Really, technically speaking, you could make an eruv from Yontiv to Shabbos in terms of the halachas of Eruvin. The issue is there's an issue of hachana. You're preparing from Yontiv to Shabbos. Rashi here says mishum hachana shemeichen miyontiv l'Shabbos. The issue is when you set up the eruv, you're preparing from Yontiv to Shabbos. V'lo mishum time adechad yomahu. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's one day. So that's why even when you're setting up the eruv for the second day, you got to set it all up beforehand. So let's say on Thursday, going into Thursday evening, you're going to set up your eruv, you're going to place it there, and then you're going to check on it to make sure that it's still there at the appropriate time. But you can't make it in the first place going from Yontiv to Shabbos. Gemara now continues with a brisa. Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa, Erev baraglav b'yom rishon. Let's say a person made an eruv with his feet. He didn't use a piece of bread. He went himself to make an eruv on the first day. Ma'arev baraglav b'yom sheni. According to this opinion, you're allowed to go on the second day and make an eruv again with his feet. Nachol eruva b'yom rishon. Let's say his eruv gets eaten on the first day. Ein yotzei ola b'yom sheni. So there, you're not allowed to go and do it for the second day. Divrei Rebbe, that's Rebbe's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says. Take a look at Rashi. Ein yotzei ola b'sheni. He's not allowed to use it. V'areu kivnei iro. He's like the people of his city. Devadai shtei kedushasein v'ein ola chashash safek. Now this is actually a leniency over here. What Rebbe is saying is it's considered for sure two separate kedushas. There is no concern. In other words, just to read it one more time to make it clear, Ire baragla b'yom rishon again. If he did it the first day with his feet, ma'are baragla b'yom sheni. He does it again the same way, second day with his feet. Nechol eruva b'yom rishon. If it gets eaten the first day, so he made an eruv the first day, and now it gets eaten. Ein yotzei ola b'yom sheni means that it's for sure that eruv is nothing for the second day. He now reverts to being like a person in his city the second day. It is for sure considered two separate kedushos. That's Rabbi's opinion. We'll continue with this brisa in the next video on Daf Lamed Ches Amud Beis.